Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the Gameweek 33 FPL team selection Q&A. How's your day going? Let me know in the comments. And how's your game week also going? How did it go? Did you get a red? Did you get a green? Let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions with related to in-depth team discussions as well, feel free to ask. Now, Game Week 32 was a good week for me, 73 points. The one big mistake I guess I made was I should have started Branthwaite. I was very undecisive about it on the deadline stream. Should have started Branthwaite over Virgil van Dijk. The rest, I guess, I mean, Region 9-pointer, you can't help it, right? It happens. So that's basically it. So just one mistake there. I've got 2 free transfers, and I am at the moment not really sure where I want to use those 2 free transfers. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, team defense, at least defense, apart from Van Dijk, who is yet to who has just only paid back the hit in terms of points I took for Game Week 30. Wish I didn't take that hit now, looking back at it, because 1, 2, and 1 have been absolutely disappointing from Liverpool and his returns as well. So we'll see. Game Week 33, he plays Crystal Palace. Probably start him in that one, but honestly, am I expecting a clean sheet in that one? No, I was expecting actually a clean sheet in the first 2, which they didn't get against Brighton and Sheffield United. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. But I probably will start him because Branthwaite has Chelsea and Pedro Porro has Newcastle. So do I really want to start Porro against Newcastle? Most likely not, especially given that it's a away fixture for Spurs. Probably not. I will most likely start Region though over Porro this week. But apart from that, honestly, the rest of the team will be same. Captaincy, we have to wait and see because it's a very interesting week this week in terms of captaincy. People will say that Haaland is probably the most obvious one. And he probably might start this upcoming week against Luton. But if we get any news that he doesn't start, I'm very tempted to sub him out and actually transfer him out because I'm wildcarding in 35. So very tempted to transfer him out and bring in maybe even a Mateta or someone like that for this game week because I have 2 free transfers. I need to use it. Or the other move is I drop Pedro Porro. Now the thing with dropping Pedro Porro is he's currently at 5.9. But for me to sell, I sell him at 5.7. Now I haven't made up my mind if I want Pedro Porro back again when I wildcard in 35 or not. So I kind of have to be very careful about team value when it comes to Pedro Porro. So that is something that I kind of need to think about a bit more in terms of do I really, really want to sell him or not. Now, obviously, fixtures, from Arsenal's point of view, the double in 35 is not great for fixtures. To be brutally honest. There's no chance of a clean sheet, but there could be a possible chance of an attacking return against Chelsea. Very possible. Liverpool, I bet just bench him, and then 37 he'll have another double with Burnley and City. So I need to think about it. Do I sell Pedro Porro? If I don't sell Pedro Porro, who do I sell? And that's where I'm like, maybe even Haaland, selling Haaland probably and then wildcard back in 35 is probably the thought, but still a bit uncertain on that. We kind of had to wait and see. Tiger and Gunnar, welcome. How are you doing, my friend? How did the week go? Did it go okay? I know I told you to get Semenyo in, I think, which didn't work out as expected. Did the week go okay? I'm looking at getting Saka in for Madison. That actually makes sense. I think you should probably look into doing that. I got 50. Oof. Who did we make as a transfers? Who did I suggest? Tony and Douglas Lewis. I guess that kind of worked out. The Tony and Douglas Lewis because Douglas Lewis is now suspended. Foden. You got Foden. No? Foden, you can start this week, Tiger and Gunnar. Don't worry about that one. Because I think he will play against Luton. So you can start Foden this week. Madison, I think you probably sell for Saka. That kind of makes sense. Although, don't make the transfer just yet. Wait for... Yeah, 142. I got your team up here. don't make the transfer just yet. Wait for Arsenal to finish their Champions League game and all of that. Just because, something could happen. Saka is still kind of knocked, so we have to be a bit more careful. So just wait till Arsenal finish their Champions League game today. And then later, maybe we can kind of see closer to like Friday or something. Just wait for the European fixtures to finish, just in case an injury happens in Europe or something like that. Who else do you have playing in Europe? You have Liverpool players as well playing in Europe, so I don't want to just wait till that is done. But you can start Foden this week. Honestly, I think you can do Foden and you can do Madison to Saka as your moves. And I guess you start them, probably bench Muniz this week, potentially. Muniz or Solanke, probably Muniz I would bench. And then defensive wise, you probably need to. I guess Pau Torres will be someone who you would look to eventually get rid, but you can probably start Luis Dunk over Pau Torres this week. Learn from last week. Yeah, true. But I think Foden this week will be fine. It's just that, never make early moves, especially when it's like this close to like a lot of big games happening with a lot of rotation. Have to be careful with early moves. When shall I do my wildcard? Game week 35 for you. Just pack on in terms of game week 34 doubles, like pack your team with game week 34 doubles, and then wildcard in as soon as game week 34 starts. Like once the deadline for game week 34 has passed, you can click that wildcard button. So let's bring your team up actually on this one. So let's just kind of assume what you would do. So let's say you get rid of Madison, right, for Saka. For 33, you would have something like this maybe, potentially. I guess you would captain Foden. Maybe, potentially. Or you can captain Salah as well. One of the two, actually. That's up to you. Probably start Dunk as well. You probably have a team like this, I would assume. Muniz is playing. Yes, you could start Muniz over Solanke as well. Or you could start Muniz. I don't know who you would start Muniz over. I don't mind starting Solanke against United as well. Shubharan, welcome. Not the best week of me, but we move on. Fair enough. Ayola, Pau, Madison, and Anderson on the bench. Pau, Madison, and Anderson. No, well, if you sell Madison, he's not on the bench, right? If you sell Madison for Saka. Let's say you did like this, like you sold Madison for Saka this week. Then in 34, you would have a team that would be like this. I would sell Heung-min Son over here for another double gimmick player in potentially. You could potentially go for Havertz actually, since you don't have triple Arsenal. Or actually, instead of Havertz, you could go Areola to Rea. Goal. Right? Get a goal, double gimmick goalkeeper. And sell Son for. Who do you guys even want to sell Son for? Just to Palace? Maybe Eze? Potentially? Something like this for a -4. I would do something like this potentially. Obviously, you have Foden and Palmer as the single gimmick players, which isn't too bad, I guess. And then you would captain either Salah or Saka in Game Week 34. You would have 9 double Game Week players with Palmer and Foden, which I guess is not too bad in 34. So you probably look at a team like that, and then Game Week 35, obviously you wildcard. Simple as. This is Game Week 33. This would be Game Week 33, this team, where you did your Madison to Saka move for this week, for Game Week 33. Do Madison to Saka. And then Game Week 34 is where you do the goalkeeper transfer of like Areola to maybe a David Rea. And you do Heung-min Son, because he's blanking, to maybe an Eze Olise, um, probably one of those two, or Sarabia as well, but I'll probably go for one of the Crystal Palace players. Only a one transfer this week, yeah, which would be Madison out and Saka in. But don't do it until the Champions League and Europa League and all of those fixtures are done, just in case some injury happens. You kind of want to react to that first. So yeah, that would probably be what you do, I guess. And then Shubharan. How did the week go, Shubharan? Where are you? Let's see. Russell's having a tough time with his wildcard, post wildcard. Shubharan, what do you mean not the best of week? You got 74 points. How is that not the best of weeks? I think I got 73 and I'm happy with my 73. How is 74 points not a good week? What did you do? One transfer. What did you make for it to not be a good week? You bought in Luis Diaz, you took out Foden. I think that's fine. Surely. Captain also, you got it correct. I unfortunately went for Palmer. This is Shubharan's team. Mateta on the bench. Was that my fault? Did I say to bench Mateta? Maybe I did. I don't know. But then again, the rest of you, except for Solanke, who against Luton, even I wouldn't have told to bench. 9 more now. No, don't worry, Tiger and Guna. You just need like one of your players to just go big, right? That's the thing. Just waiting for those players to go big. You had a few risks here that you've taken that has kind of backfired, but we move. Hopefully, Gameweek 35 with the wild card, and from 34, 33, 34, 35, all of that, just try to hit green arrows. So yeah, this is Shubharan's team. Not too bad. Doing well as well in terms of rank. What's the goal rank wise? Then obviously this is my team. Now I've got 2 free transfers. I also don't really. It was fine FPL wise, but for Liverpool, okay, yeah, Liverpool I understand. Yeah, kind of. That makes sense. I will not comment on that. Because obviously different sides, so it is what it is. Now FPL wise, I have 2 free transfers as well, and I do not know what to do. I'm probably going to sell Pedro Porro, potentially, but I'm not really sure at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. Also, this week on the podcast usually we do on Wednesday evening Australian time, but this week it'll be Thursday early morning at 7 o'clock Australian. 7 o'clock Sydney time in the morning. Just after the Champions League games on Wednesday night it'll be. And for the podcast we will be getting Baker from the Above Average FPL podcast on as well as a guest for this week. So we'll be very interested to see what he kind of says as well. So that's one big guest for this week. Next week we'll have another guest. Week after we'll have another guest as well, like for Gameweek 35. So 33, 34, 35, we have some guests lined up. 36 and 7 and 8, I kind of need to work on. I still haven't got anything, but we've got some guests lined up for the upcoming ones. So stay tuned for that, starting with this Thursday morning, Wednesday night, wherever you are based on your time zone. The draw felt like a loss. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But then for Tiger and Guna, on the other hand, as an Arsenal fan, he's actually enjoying that draw. And me as a United fan, at this point, just looking at United is just like, it is what it is for me. I'm just kind of like numb to the pain. So what time? That might be quite early where you are, Tiger and Guna. Because you're in Brisbane, right? Sorry, are you in Brisbane, Breezy? So it'll be 7 a.m. Sydney time. In Brisbane would be. Oh shit! It's the same time. Oh, you're in Perth. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what? 7 a.m. Sydney time in Perth would be 5 o'clock in the morning. So that might be a bit too early. I don't know if you want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you'll be awake after watching the Champions League game from Arsenal. Oh no, Arsenal are today. So I don't know if you'll be awake. You could probably, sleep. Yeah, you could probably just watch it once you get up. To be honest, like it'll be up on the channel anyways. Once you get up, you can kind of watch. What do you think about my backline? Hoping to roll this game week. I think rolling this game week, if you can be in a position to roll, not too bad. So you got Saliba, Gabriel, and Dubravka, and you got Zabani. Charlie Taylor is playing Lewis Dunk. Honestly, I would not mind starting Charlie Taylor over Zabani this week. As crazy as it might potentially sound. Are Burnley at home? Yes. No, Brighton at home. Wait, what? I'm confused. No, Burnley at home. What do you think? Who did you want to start, Shubharan? I'll try and see. Oh, good, all good, all good. No worries. But yeah, that's the guest we have for this week. I'll make a post of that after this, obviously. But yeah. So wait for Shubharan's plan. And what is your chip plan? Oh, you got a wild card and a bench boost left as well. You're gonna wild card in 35 as well. Is that the play? Put your team in a FPL team planner and kind of see what you're looking to do. So this is Shubharan's team for 33 and 34. He's got something like this. So what are you planning to do on 34? 2 free transfers. I'm assuming one will be used on Dubravka and potentially one on Heung-min Son. Maybe. You get 10 double gaming players. And you have been thinking about Haaland as well, haven't you? To get like a Darwin Nunes, which I also have, but to get a Mateta instead. Tin, thank you very much for liking. Guys, if you are new, hit that like button, subscribe as well. We are now, I think, 3 subscribers or 4 subscribers away from 700 subscribers. So if we can hit 700 subscribers by the end of this week, that would be amazing. And yeah, once again, special guest this week on the podcast, Baker FPL from Above Average FPL podcast for this week, which is on Thursday morning Australian time. I'll make a post about that later. But yeah, keep your eyes tuned for that. And another thing I should add, Champions League Fantasy. I don't know how many of you guys actually play Champions League Fantasy. I created a mini league for anyone who's interested. This is the league code for Champions League Fantasy. I just created a team for Champions League Fantasy as well, something like this. Because I was going to play with some of my friends. And we were like, oh, okay, let's only few game weeks, like few rounds left. Let's create a team and because it's short in form, let's try and create a team and play. I created something like this. But for anyone who's interested in Champions League Fantasy, so basically, my team for Champions League Fantasy is Harry Kane, captain, Kylian Mbappe, Griezmann, Bellingham, Foden, Lino, Saka, Nacho, Ben White, Hummels, David Raya. That's my first 11. And in goal, I got Kobel, Zaire Kubazi, and Lucas Hernandez. So Champions League Fantasy, this is the team that I've got. If you guys are playing Champions League Fantasy, join the league. This is the league code 57ENEBK402. And let me know if you can join, and I will be looking forward to competing against y'all. So yeah, anyone who's interested, check it out. And Shubharan says, Third defender almost never gets points. Wildcard 35, bench was 37. Fair point. Fair point. So, I mean, you can take the punt if you want to. Obviously, Zabani is Bournemouth at home against United. But United do tend to score, even though they're pretty bad at defending. Brighton against Charlie Taylor might be an interesting punt as well. In Gameweek 34, thinking of Haaland to Nunez, Ariola to Pickford, and Bell to Ant Nouri if fit for a -4. Ah, that's actually very interesting. Play 4-3-3, not sure about 4 defenders though. Ooh. Why? Is that because you have value stored up on Heung-min Son, or you have value stored up on Heung-min Son? If you have value stored up in Heung-min Son, I completely understand. If you do, then I kind of like, okay, yeah, 4-3-3, I understand. If you don't have any value stored up in Heung-min Son, then I would just try and get into a 3-5-2 if possible. But Ant Nouri, to be honest, not a bad pick. Honestly, if he's fit and if Haaland is starting, I might have to do Pedro Porro to Ant Nouri as well, potentially. And maybe I start Ant Nouri over Virgil van Dijk this week. If Haaland is starting, that is. So I kind of had to think about it. But I do have value tied up in Pedro Porro. So it is not a move that I can make very easily per se as well. So I kind of have to think about it because Wolves, Ant Nouri is 4.7. So yeah, maybe I can gain that value from Ant Nouri. I'll lose like 0.2. I'll probably wait and see if Pedro Porro rises this week before making that move, because he could potentially rise in price. So kind of had to wait and see. Yeah, about 0.4 in Heung-min. Yeah, nah, if you have 0.4 in Heung-min Son, I guess I don't want to lose that, to be honest. Especially given that you'll just want to buy him back in 35. Then it kind of makes sense. Then I understand your situation. I probably wouldn't do it then. Yeah, so I'd probably play 4-3-3, like you said. Yeah, 0.4 stored in him. Because you have 0.7 there. 10.6. That would be, he is 9.9 for you? 9.9? Yeah? 10? Oh, you have 0.2 stored on him. 0.2 value stored on Heung-min Son at the moment. Or is it 0.4? Am I wrong? I don't know. So yeah, that's for Pistol Pete and Shubharan. I remember on the deadline stream, who was it who asked me? I think it was Will, who wanted to check his. I think Will's team was something like this. 71 points, not bad from Will. I think it was Will who wanted to check his team, or was it Nick? I'm not really sure who, but whoever it was, let me know if you guys are watching this back. And I'll definitely look into the team. But this was Will's team. Wonder what he was planning on doing. So we'll have to wait and see that as well. But yeah, I think that's basically all I have, unless anyone else had any further questions before we end it. And also, obviously, clocks have gone an hour back in Australia, or at least in Sydney. So if this, I need to check. I think the times might have changed. Before we would have been doing this slightly earlier. Now, sorry, before we would have been doing this slightly later. Now I think it's slightly earlier. So maybe I might need to readjust. Let me know for those of you who are watching this back. You're 2 hours ahead of me. Yes. For Tiger and Guna, this probably is better, right? Cause is it better or is it worse? Let me know in the comments. Because starting now, is it better for y'all or is it worse for y'all? Because I think now it's like doesn't look like it has changed much. Oh no, maybe there's a half an hour change actually. Better for tagging good. Okay, and then Shubharan, in your part of the world, is that this starting time good or not good? Because it's an hour later for you as well. I think before I used to start at um before I used to start I think at 3:30 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Now it's 4:30 p.m. Maybe it's better for you guys as well. I don't know. Last time was 6:30 ish due to yeah, time difference, right? So now it's like what 7 o'clock ish, no? No, now it's like what 7:30 7 o'clock ish. 7:30 ish for you. Okay. But now it's 7:26. So we started at 7. Okay, cool. So it's better for you because it's later back from work and all of that or anything. So it works for you. Cool. So I think hopefully this time zone this because of the times the clocks have changed. Hopefully it helps everyone in terms of the time that we stream as well. But yeah, I think we will end it there unless there are any final questions. And for those who are watching back as well, let me know in the comments if actually this new time works for you all as well. Or do you guys want me to push it a bit more back, like another half an hour back? And why do I have why did I have that better for me text? I must have copy pasted something. Oh, I did copy paste with Tiger and Guna's text and in. How did I do that? I don't even know how I did that. Huh. Fine for me around 7:30 ish. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Then that's good. All right, now I think we'll end it here. Anyone who wants to join UCL Fantasy Mini League, obviously feel free to join. That is the league for the Football Chatbox League code. And for those of you who are wildcard in this week, let me know as well. Maybe I'll create a wildcard video for those who are thinking about it in Gameweek 33. And also for those who are thinking about a 1 week punt, because there are people who are looking to free hit 34 and wildcard 35 as well, who are looking for a 1 week punt. Feel free to join as well. How do you join UCL Fantasy? Basically, go to the UCL Fantasy website and I will copy paste this link and I will post it in the description of this video. And also I'll post it on the comments of this video if anyone is interested. It'll be actually on the description. I can put it right away now. UCL Fantasy. All right, in the that's a big URL. So UCL Fantasy. I'm not going to put that big URL. I'll put the league code actually for UCL Fantasy. So feel free to join that if you guys are interested. The link is the code is actually in this thing. Home sweet home, welcome. Thanks for the suggestions last week on Saka. He got me 10 points. You're welcome. Glad to know it worked. Loss in Sun is -2. Loss in Haaland -1. Who would you transfer out for Gameweek 34? Well, if Haaland is not starting Shubharan, then I would transfer Haaland out, to be honest. And then Tiger and Gunas says Dubravka did well for me. Indeed, he did well for me as well. So both of us were in the same boat. I would transfer. I guess I would try. Oh, actually, I would transfer Huming Sun. Actually, funnily enough, because he doesn't have the game in Game Week 34, right? You can still start Haaland against Brighton. The only thing I'm slightly worried about with Haaland against Brighton is the rotation time between City's games. So if you go Manchester City, and their matches. So they've got this is game week 33 against Spurs. FA Cup semi-final on the Sunday, 21st of April. Brighton versus Manchester City, which is game week 34 on the 26th. This is game week 25 on the 29th. So 26 means 25th everywhere else. So the rest between 24 and game week 24 and 25 is a short turnaround. Then obviously they have the UCL Champions League game as well, which I think would be on the if they do qualify, that is, to the oh no, they don't have UCL family. No, they do. They will have UCL if they qualify. If they beat Real Madrid, they will have the game against potentially Arsenal or Bayern on. I think it'll be on the 24th or 25th, possibly. Not really sure. Wait, no, it'll be on the on the 1st of April. 1st of April or 1st of May or 2nd of May. So need to see where exactly, because between the 29th and UCL game, I think this could be a problem. This Forest versus City game could see rotation, or Brighton versus City could see rotation, or both could actually see rotation, because there'll be a Champions League game in the middle of this Forest and Wolves game if they qualify. So kind of want to wait and see on Haaland and on City if they beat Real Madrid or not. I feel like rotation is still coming for Pep and his team. Hopefully I made sense there. What's your suggestions for next week? Player to watch. Player to watch. Depends on what your plan is. Home sweet home. What is your plan again? Can you let me know? And if you want, I can bring up your team if you can tell me where it is in the minute. Because in these videos, I have the time actually to bring up people's teams individually, because the number of people asking questions isn't as high. So I can easily bring up your teams easily, like here. Just a minute. All right, no worries, no worries. So yeah. Also, FPL challenge. I kinda have to make a team for that, and I have no idea what team to do for that. I probably will think about it. But yeah, I'll probably make a separate one on that. And also, for those of you who are watching and haven't joined the Discord, feel free to join the Discord as well. The link for that is also in the description and in the comments. Team ID for Home Sweet Home 508. Let me bring it up. So, okay, let me bring it up on. Alright, this is your team. If I'm not mistaken, Home Sweet Home. I'll probably start Foden this week. Would you start him over Muniz? Probably. Maybe start Gordon against Spurs. And in defense, do I start Branthwaite or do I start Sufal? Probably Sufal, right? It's Chelsea at home. You have 2 free transfers as well, so you need to make a transfer. You go to 34. How does your team look like? Okay, interesting. So you'll have a goalkeeper transfer that you'll make. Probably will remove Gordon. Do you have any chips left? Home sweet home. Do you have any chips left? Rian, welcome. How are you doing? And Oli Zipper as well. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? How's things going? Actually, let me put just so I can. So this is Home Sweet Home, Karthik. Welcome, Karthik. Let's see, Karthik's. Okay, Karthik has a wild card and a bench boost. So wild card and bench boost. So I'm thinking a wild card in Gameweek 35. I'm good, Ryan. How are you? I am good as well. Thank you for asking. This was the Gameweek points. So wild card Gameweek 35 potentially, which means 2 free transfers. I think one of them you probably use on the forward line. Probably Muniz out. To maybe. Okay, here's the thing. You potentially do Muniz out. One. Unfortunately, you don't have the budget to go to a Solanke or to a Darwin Nunes even immediately. Could go to Mateta though, if you wanted. That is a possible move. But he doesn't have the best of fixture this week. You could do Gordon out. I don't know how much team value you have stored on Gordon, so you might want to check on that. Because you could do Gordon out to maybe a Luis Diaz. That is a possible move. Gordon to Luis Diaz. You could also do Dubravka to. Can you do Rhea? Yes, you can do Dubravka to Rhea as well. Or you can also go, instead of going Rhea, you can go Sufal to Gabriel. That's a possible move, Sufal to Gabriel. But honestly, you have 4 defenders for the double game week, so I'd probably just do the goalkeeper transfer instead of going Gabriel. So I might even do Rhea potentially. So you could do Rhea. You can do Luis Diaz. You could do Mateta for the forward line. So you have a couple of options. You would end up like something like this. You would have a double game week goalkeeper as well. Maybe you don't actually remove Dubravka because you potentially have value stored up on Dubravka and you might want him for the wildcard in 35 if you're planning on using him. I don't know. So maybe you get rid of Ariola instead and you bring in Rhea. Potentially something like this, actually. So you would end up like this. And then you can use your 2 free transfers here to probably either stack your midfield. Oh, yeah. You could do Gordon out. You can do Muniz out. Stuff like that in 35, in 34. How about Isaac? You could get Isaac, but you won't have a double game. Like, the thing is, you can get Isaac for 2 games in 33 and 34. Or you can focus on getting some double game week players. When to use bench boost? I think for you, you would bench boost in game week 37. So at least I'm thinking, because your team is not really set. You'll have to take too many hits to get like a decent bench and all of that. So I think you could bench boost in 37 potentially. Wildcard 35, bench boost 37. What do you think? And then Rian has asked better option for game week 33 and 34. Havertz, Odegaard, or Saka for only 2 weeks. At this moment, but if you're looking to protect rank, Rian, I would say Saka. If you're looking to potentially attack rank, I would say at this moment Havertz. The one problem is there really a problem? Yeah, I think I'll probably go Havertz maybe. I'm just wondering whether there'll be rotation for Arsenal. No, Arsenal shouldn't potentially have rotation. So I think they should be fine. 34. I would probably go for Saka though, just for protecting rank. And also potentially being a captaincy option for game week 34. To be honest, who would you captain? Would you captain Saka? Or would you captain Salah? Something to think about between the two actually, on who to captain for 34. So yeah. And Oli Zipper, how are you doing as well? How did the game week go? Rob's Captain Salah in 34? Yeah, okay. So then that's the thing, right? So I guess the question is then, um, then the question is, do you want to protect rank or do you want to like chase rank, or like all depends on what rank you're at and all of that. Because you're trying to chase rank or something, then maybe Havertz is the more riskier punty option. But going against Saka can be deadly, so have to be careful. Currently at 40k, what should be my target by the end of the season? Wildcard and bench was left. Currently at 40k. How much is the gap between you and top 10k, Shubharan? Potentially? You're currently at 40k. Who is at top 10k in this mini league? Let's see. 25k. 10. 60k. Zodiac. 10k. At 2011 points. 78 points. 88, 98. So about 30 odd points. I think first try and halve your points. Shubharan, not halve your point, halve your rank. Go from 40k to 20k. See whether you can get to 20k first. And if you get to 20k before game week 37, or even before game week 36, no, before game week 36 might be too hard. Essentially, I don't know. Try and get to 27. Try and get to 20k, top 20k before maybe game week 36, 37. Ideally before 37, and then maybe we can think about rolling the dice and seeing if you can push to that top 10k. But at the moment, I would just try to halve that. Like halving it, like halving that rank is also not as easy. Going from 40k to 20k. Good, thanks. I got 68 points. Nice. 8 points is a pretty good score as well. Having said that, now that you are, you're saying that like it's only I think 30 odd points, 35 points away from top 10k. Yeah. I am trying to chase a guy in a mini league that is currently, where is this mini league? This is the mini league. I am currently 70 points away. That's literally double the amount of points away. I don't know if I can even chase it down. Can I chase it down 70 points in like 6 game weeks? I'm going to have to take massive amounts of risk. He's in like 38k. So he's basically somewhere where you are. So if I was to chase this guy down, I think I might have to potentially take like different captaincy risk and all of that. Now I can kind of take that because I'm not in the top 100k. And for me, I'm like, do I want to get in the top 100k more or do I want to win this mini league more? Probably want to be in the mini league more, to be honest. So let's see. Maybe it pays off, maybe it doesn't pay off. I don't know. I might have to take more risk. So I think that'll start with this week. This is where I'm like thinking, like, what do I do with Haaland? That's one option because a lot of people who have Haaland this week will captain Haaland. Now, if Haaland doesn't start, then I can get someone else and look to captain someone else. And then that's where the whole differential starts. Trying to close down points. So I think the current goal would be to try and halve your rank. Same thing with me. I'm at 253k. The current goal for me, the first step is to first get into that top 200k. Because funnily enough, I've had such a bad season or such a hard season that this is my second highest game week rank. Interestingly, the first highest game week rank I had was at game week 1, 214k. Since game week 1, I have not been able to get into that past that 214k. I've just gone yo-yo, down, down, up, up. This is now my second highest game week rank the entire season, so it's not easy. Yeah, I'm trying to like, first I need to get into top 200k. Set goals like that, I guess. Can you look at my team? Yes, I can. No chips, 2 free subs, zero point 0.6 in the bank. All right. I've got triple captain, wildcard, and bench boost left. Ooh, Tiger and Kuna is big stuff. Triple captain, wildcard, and bench boost. Oh, Tiger and Kuna, you might be able to triple captain in 34. Interestingly. You could probably triple captain on Salah in 34, potentially, for your team. But I think we'll get to that in Gameweek 34. Or you could even triple captain Saka. We'll think about it when we get there. No chips, 2 free subs, and 0.6 in the bank. No chips, 2 free subs, and 0.6 in the bank. 2 free transfers. So, oh yeah, 2 free subs. Sorry. 34, your team looks like. The team looks like this. What would I change from this team? I would probably look. Can I get another Liverpool player? Would I want to get another Liverpool player? Potentially. This is actually a tough one. Or should you get a single game week player for 2 games? You have 1 Spurs player. Maybe you can get. No, I don't want another Spurs player. Tough one on this. What to actually do? Probably look. You could even do the hokey cokey with Heung-min Son, potentially. Although I don't know if that is a wise move. What does Gordon have? 35 Sheffield United, 36 Burnley, 37 Brighton, 38 Brentford. Do you want to do the hokey cokey with Heung-min Son potentially? But then what do you do for this week? I think for you, Zipper, I think first wait and see what happens to Ant Nouri. Like, what's the situation with Ant Nouri first? If Ant Nouri is all right, man, I don't know what to do for your team. You're in a very interesting position, I would say, for this week. Did I even get rid of Gordon? You could potentially get rid of Gordon and do the hokey cokey with Gordon if needed. But let's say you did a hokey cokey with Gordon. Who would you sell and bring in? Maybe a Luis Diaz, potentially. So let's say you did something like, oh, you can't even get Luis Diaz. Know me. Was going to sell some, but I have no wildcard. I want a Spurs play for two for 35 and 37. Yeah, that's the thing. So maybe you might have to do this thing with Sun, where you sell Sun and buy Sun back, eventually. But I was thinking of trying to sell Gordon and try and get a Liverpool player like a Luis Diaz. But it doesn't seem as easy to do that. Sun against Newcastle is not a bad pick, to be honest. The other thing is you sell Sun for DS, right? You do something like this, sell Sun for DS. You go to Gameweek 34, you have a team like this. You use 1 free transfer depending on injuries and whatnot, right? I think you do 1 free transfer to fix your team for 35. I don't know, it depends on injuries and whatnot. So you'll have to kind of wait and see on that. Maybe you could. I don't know. I won't comment on that just yet. But let's just say you just do 1 free transfer and you roll the second transfer. So you roll 2. You have to be in I think you try to be in a position where you roll 2 free transfers into game week 35 and you sell. So you roll 2 free transfers into game week 35, right? You end up in a situation something like this where you have a team like this without any Spurs, right? That's the first thing. You sell Luis Diaz potentially back to Sun, and you could also get another Spurs players, or another Spurs player, either a Brennan Johnson or oh, um, do a Spurs defender potentially. 5.1. You can get Udogi if you wanted to with 2 free transfers. Who would I even bench? Would I bench Ant Nouri? Would I want 2 Spurs defenders? Maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't want 2 Spurs defenders. Sorry, maybe I wouldn't want a Spurs defender. I don't know. Maybe I would like to get a. I would have loved to have got like a Spurs midfielder for a 1 week. Maybe like a Brennan Johnson or something like that. Like maybe you sell like Saka for some reason. Let's say you just sell Saka, right? You sell Saka, you bring in someone like a Brennan Johnson. Do something like this, which you have 5 players for the double basically. Then in Gameweek 36, you start bringing in like a United player, like a Garnacho for the fixture against Palace. Trying to figure out how to move the team. Probably need to. You probably bring in Isaac as well actually for a hit potentially in 36. Burnley. Actually, now I think I might know where you use your transfer. You could. I don't know if I want to do it because I would have loved to have got Isaac in. For 35. It would have been good to have an Isaac, no? Instead of like a Semenyo over here. Maybe you, I don't know. If we'll see with the injury notice, probably do a 1 week punt like. Oh man, not enough funds. Give me a break. Never mind. I think you kind of have to like take it 1 game week at a time. Because you're in a position where you have like players that you really don't want to sell for this week. So what do you want to actually do? What are you thinking? It's a tough one. I think you're in a very tough situation because Sun is a decent punt for this week as well. Not gonna lie. Let me just reset everything. I don't know what to do. You're in a tough position. Maybe the other one is to replace the other one to replace would be a Gordon. Or someone like an Eze. So you do like a Gordon to Eze. And you can start Eze against Liverpool if you wanted to. Then you have the doubles. Right? Over here. What would I do? I still want to get an Isaac in, ideally. But unfortunately, you don't have the funds to do it. Tough. I think you need to sell Sun. The worst thing is from NZ and I went against Wood and he's banging now. I mean, he hit the post as well, right? The other one. Oh, Chris Wood. What a guy. But he doesn't have a double, right? That's the thing. So it kind of makes sense, but what to do? I think your other option is you I don't want to sell Son against Newcastle because Newcastle are defensively quite shocking. But I can't. I also don't want to burn a transfer. That makes sense. So I am not really sure where to move. I think you wait and see what's the situation with Ent Nuri, because that could also potentially force your hand into doing a move. What if? And also, you probably want to wait and see what's the situation with Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. So kind of wait and see whether Bradley is still going to play or not. I think Ent Nuri, Gordon, and I even think Bournemouth eventually. Bournemouth are the first team I want to get rid of as soon as possible. If I sell Sun, if you sell Sun, right? If you sell Sun, let's say you sell Sun for Ghana show. I don't know. Let's just say we do this. Then this week, you would have a team like so. You could even start Garnacho against Sheffield United. Would you get in a Isak or let's say a Semenyo? You end up losing another double game week or a single game week, but you get Isak in return. Then you have Isak for Sheffield United. You can bring back Heung-min Son for maybe a Saka. Could have something like this. Have Isak against Sheffield United. It's not too bad. If you wanted, you could sell Solanke as well. Bring in a Timo Werner. Sounds crazy, but I mean, it's not a bad idea, potentially. Thinking of selling San for Diaz and bringing back in 35. Find a cheaper player for Diaz in 35 and up. That is also a possibility. I think that's what I was. Yeah, maybe something like that might make sense. Or make more sense. So let's say you get Diaz, right? Going to 34 like this is sadly is not a possibility. I'd love to have been a possibility, but not possible. So let's bring back Semenyo over here. Which means, what do we do with this one free transfer? Any ideas? Potentially use it on someone else? Maybe get an Udogi in? Actually, that could also work. What you could do, right? If Inturi is out, we don't know. Probably should be fine. You could remove Inturi, or you could remove Munoz for an Udogi. Now, yes, Udogi has a blank, but you could start Gordon instead. That specific week against Crystal Palace. Or Palmer against Arsenal. I don't know. You do lose a double game week player. That's the one problem. But yeah, I don't know. You kind of have to decide on what you want to do in like 34. Just wait and see about injury news. Santa Diaz would be my one free. Yeah, do Santa Diaz. And then in game week 34, when we get to it, we'll see what has happened in 33 and then we'll react. I think that's probably the way to go. See what happens in game week 33 and then we react. Alright, I think we'll end it there. This is my team as well. I'm on 2 free transfers. And at this moment, I do not know what to do with 2 free transfers. I have 2 options. Haaland doesn't play. I sell Haaland. If we get news that he's not playing, I sell Haaland. If Haaland is playing, and if Ant Nouri is fit, I potentially sell Pedro Porro to Ant Nouri. Although I do not really want to do that. So I might think about it a bit more and see if there are any other moves I could potentially do. Yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe as well. And before we leave, if you guys are playing Champions League Fantasy, feel free to join the Champions League Fantasy mini league as well. I've just created it 57ENEBK402. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are 3 or 4 subscribers at the moment away from 700. Hopefully, we get it by this week. And on Thursday, we'll have the podcast. Thursday morning, Wednesday night, wherever you are based on your time zones, right? We'll be having Baker FPL from the Above Average FPL podcast on Thursday. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all for the podcast, whether you're watching that live or whether you're watching that back. Thank you very much. Until then, thank you to Tiger and Guna, Oli Zipper, Shubharan, Rian, Home Sweet Home, Tin. Thank you all, and also for those watching in the background, shout out to you all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, everyone. Pro Clubs time. Lads are waiting. All right. See you, Oli Zipper. Enjoy.